Save Martha. Martha. Our mothers have the same. In all of my detective work, I never stopped to think that an alien could have a mother too. But now Doomsday is loose, and there's no hope for us to ever become friends. What's up? How's the Legion of Comic Collectors doing today? Well, today I'm doing something a little different. This is a response video to Don the Comic Book Junkie. And he made a great video about comic book snobs. And then another buddy of mine, Library of Comics, he made a response to it. And got me thinking I should put my 2 cents in as well. And I will link both their videos in the description. 2 great channels and 2 great videos. But, talking about comic book snobs, what exactly is a comic book snob? And it started when Don was watching a video and someone was at a comic book shop and saw dollar bins and just referred to those as trash comic books. And that upset him, and rightfully so. You have a whole group of people, it's just, if it isn't a major key, if we're being honest, if it isn't a book that they could buy for a few dollars and turn around and make a profit on, then to them that comic book is a trash comic book. And it really sort of, it's an offensive thing to comic collectors. Someone like myself, myself lately had stopped collecting as much comics. New books are so expensive. And it feels like every other book is suddenly worth hundreds, thousands of dollars. And it's a lot to keep up with. And recently, here, I read through my Batman collection from 400 up to New 52. My detective collection, I've read from, I think around 600 or so. A few in the 500s, but where I really have a straight run, I'm up to 831, and I've just been enjoying it, loving it, and it sort of reminded me, why was I collecting in the first place? And it was to have full runs, to enjoy the story. And in this long box here, to a comic book snob, what all but maybe 20 books would be trash comic books, because they're just dollar bin, no keys, no value. It's not something that they could pick up and then turn around and flip on a whatnot or a YouTube auction or on Instagram. And there really is a fine line between being an actual comic book collector, someone that likes the stories, likes the characters, cares about what's happening, and somebody who just collects comics to make a profit, to grow their YouTube channel or whatnot following. And that's something I've always sort of pointed out on my channel, mentioned it before. To me, dollar bin comics, they're the most valuable comics of all, because that's where the story happens. Why do you care about a first appearance of a character if you don't care about all the stories they're in, right? If you're just in it for the money, you're not truly a comic book fan, in my opinion. It's something, I don't have as much time to watch YouTube, but I'll click into my feed, or even on the TV, it'll bring up everything comic book related. And it's like every video is spec this, hot books that, why you should invest in this. Here's my, CGC returns, which is basically, here's the books I sent off that I'm going to turn around and try to flip for money. And I'm just not interested in watching. Who wants to watch somebody make money? It's sort of boring. Now, if they care about these books, and it's like, well, these are characters I really, care about. I sent them off to get CGC graded to protect the book so I could display it nicely without damaging it. That's interesting, and you hear them talk about why they like this character, why they like these books. Just watching somebody flip books isn't very entertaining. And it's just something I really liked Don pointing out, calling these books trash books. Well, then really almost all of our collections are trash in those people's eyes, because there ain't a ton of keys, and not all those keys are really high dollar books. And I mean, honestly, if you ain't talking about the truly rare books, like, that's a reprint, something like that, where there ain't very many of them, a handful in decent shape, something truly rare, a character that you could go into a third world country where they don't have electric or power and find a kid wearing a Batman shirt. That's something of true value, something you care about, as opposed to a character that was just created and they made a variant that there's only 50 of, so they're trying to charge you $5,000 for that. But that's true value, not the stories that make you care about Batman. So, just throwing my 2 cents in on the subject. I am definitely someone who loves comics because I care about the characters, I care about the stories. Even collecting what those people call trash comics. Some of my best memories of my life are going to a flea market with my grandparents and finding comics, and then going home and being so excited to read those stories. And even now, taking my kids out and taking them to the comic book store and looking through comics with them, and they're picking out a toy, or they love playing in my room and looking at all the toys and cool stuff. I mean, you don't have those memories buying a book someone CGC graded for $500 off eBay. You don't get even those memories, much less the story. So to me, I'd definitely like to see more people talking about the story, talking about why they love a character, why even getting a first appearance of that character would mean something to them, other than it's just a value they could flip on eBay. So, I think that's all I'll do. I don't want to do too long of a video. Love Don's video. Love his response. I'm sorry, Library of Comics response. Definitely go check out their videos in the description. That sort of started me on this and made me want to do a response. And I would love to hear from you in the comments. How do you feel about this subject? What kind of collector are you? And, go comment on their videos. Let them know you like what they're doing. With that being said, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you all next time.